Okay, we'll get started. So I'm Melanie, who you're listening to, and you can see Anne Botting, who's our commentator. So just before Anne starts telling us what this all is about, just a couple of little housekeeping things. Anne's going to talk for probably about 30 minutes, depending on how we go, about the content we're on live. Jane, if you want to come and join us, you're welcome.
Shane, come meet Shane, sticky nose in the door.
So this is our other director, other college owner, Shane Botting. Any other random people who come in and interrupt the webinar will also get told to introduce themselves.
Sorry about that, I'm the trainer, my apologies. It's all quiet in here.
You're right. Okay, where were we? So Anne's going to talk for about 30 minutes, take you through this process, explain what it all is, and then we're going to have probably 10 or 15 minutes at the end for questions. Now, if anyone's got any questions along the way, just pop them into the Q&A or into the chat or whatever.
And we can always ask Shane.
Yeah, we can. Now that we know he's here, we can grab him. So let me just introduce Anne properly before we go. So Anne Botting is our college owner, and you just met Shane. Excellent, good start. As you can see, we're highly polished at this webinar.
Just know that you're dealing with a real company, and we have a lot, with real people, and we have a lot of fun along the way.
So Anne and Shane have been in business for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And you've been in the RTO for how many years now?
16 years with the RTO. So yes, you'll see your hair's gone. That's why, so Shane's missing a few more hairs and everything.
And one of the things I think that's important before we talk about wage subsidies and things, because the key to what we're talking about today is that there is a wage subsidy with a condition that you put someone on a training course.
Yes.
And in these days, and especially in New South Wales, where most of our participants are from today, unfortunately, we'll talk about that in a moment. We do have some good news for you guys though, but we have been doing online training for how many years?
Probably about 13, 14 years now.
So you didn't just start it when COVID started?
No. So our students have always been existing workers, mature age people. So we haven't traditionally been working with 16-year-olds or kids coming straight out of school. So no, so for us, all of our students train over the phone with their trainers on one-on-one sessions. And so, yeah, they've been.
So it's not just send them a PDF and, here's your online course. It's like proper training. It's just delivered online. And I know you guys have had lots of really good recommendations and testimonials, and you'll talk about some examples of students.
I'll introduce you to a couple of our students along the way.
And so head office is in New South Wales, but
yes,
not in Sydney.
No, on the northern end of New South Wales. So our poor employees are very used to going through the border with the border passes.
And we are sitting in the Sunshine Coast office.
Yes, so sitting in the Sunshine Coast office, but yes, have downloaded all of those, the New South Wales app where you've got to sign into the office each time with the click in and all those things. So
in all seriousness, no, things are pretty tough in New South Wales.
Absolutely,
And so what you're going to talk about today is hopefully a bit of a lifeline for some of these businesses.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Okay,
so can you then explain to us, Anne, and let's go back to the beginning. What is this BAC? So this webinar is about BAC. What's BAC?
Okay, so it's called Back in the World out there. So it's a boosting apprenticeship commencement program funded by the government, but it's not for apprentices only. So keep that. So wipe out that second word. Just call it BAC rather than thinking apprenticeships, or you'll get yourself confused because it's not only apprentices that can do this. Okay, so you get a 50% wage subsidy from the federal government. It's rebated to you. You get up to $28,000 per employee who participates in the professional development program with us. And you get it 4 times over the thing. So at the end of every quarter, what happens is you'll put in your wage slips for that person, and then the government will give you half the wage slip, half that money back that you've paid to them in that quarter.
So it's sort of the process in terms of the claim is similar to JobKeeper, except they've got to be on a training course.
Yeah, they've got to be on a training.
And they've got to be coming to work.
Yes, coming to work, and because there was a few, hiccups. It was a great scheme for, definitely some employers. This one is just you are being rewarded for upskilling your current people and bringing on and employing new staff into your business.
So on that note, one of the things that I think people will probably be immediately thinking is, is this just for apprentices? Is it just for young people? And is it just for new workers? I know you're going to go through this in more detail later, but could you just very briefly answer that so that people understand where we're starting
The exciting thing is No, it's not just for apprentices, and no, it's not just for young people. And yes, you can do it for anyone that you bring on as a new employee. So anyone that you're going to upskill, change up from a casual to a part-time to full-time, or bring them in new to your company.
But what if they're like an engineer or an accountant or something?
Perfect. It's, yeah, when we run through it, it's, yeah, you can do any state, any industry. You can have previous qualifications. We're not going to cut them off to go off to block training or anything. So you're not going to lose people out of the workforce, you know, for your, you know, everyday today stuff. So yeah, it's just a great story.
So can you give us a bit of a background as to how this came about and what is it? And
yeah, there's a bit of misconception out there in the marketplace. So the end of last year, so we'll go back, you know, it may seem like a long time ago for many of us, but okay, JobKeeper was coming to an end. The government had to look at how we're going to use to stimulate the economy. They decided that helping us as employers bring on new staff and upskill the existing staff would be good for the economy. So they put out a bucket load of dollars and 100,000 training places that they sort of said that they would subsidise and put the wage subsidy on. What happened was, so there was $2.8 billion worth then.
so within 3 weeks, big companies.
The big companies just went, hey, this is an idea. And they had HR coordinators and people that just got in there and just grabbed it all.
And that was open to everybody, wasn't it? Existing workers, new workers, any course.
Any course. It was just really, really broad. So what happened was the government then went, and went, sorry, you know, we're not going to allow it for existing workers. So in our particular company, we actually had some people that, yes, we got on, and I had signed it ready to put another couple of existing workers on, and that sort of door closed.
So okay, can I just ask you, there's a couple of questions that have come through straight away, which are about, is this for upskilling existing employees or only for new employees?
It's for both. So,
okay, so you will explain how it's for both.
Yes, so it's for both your existing and your new. Okay. So new is anyone that you've had with you under 3 months, and anyone that you want to bring into the organisation, or anyone that you want to transfer from casual to part-time to full-time. Okay. So yes, but what we're going to have at the end is that each of you are going to have an account manager that you'll be able to work with from here at the organisation, here at Global Training, and work out with you. So lots of the people on our webinar today are business owners and the employers, and we've also got some of the coordinators. Okay. So we thank you both for the time that you're giving to us today, because I know you're very busy. And if you're going to be the coordinator to organise this for the company, thumbs up to you. Yeah, great stuff. Really appreciate the effort you're going to put in. If you're the employer, we're going to be able to show you the benefits to you and your business, and how all that flows. So we do thank you for both of you for your time today.
So back to the
back to what happened. Okay,
so existing worker criteria, something changed at the end of October.
Yeah, so they closed it all down, and so most of the people think out in the marketplace that it is not eligible for existing workers. What we didn't know as business owners was that there was a secret list of existing trades and other courses that it's much smaller, but you could still use for your existing worker. And that's what we will show you, that from here at Global Training, we've got some courses on this magical little list.
And these are not plumber type courses?
No, they're not plumber type courses. So we'll be able to work through that as well. So by May, 130,000 places were used. And then in the government have been so happy with the program that in our last budget release for this financial year, they allocated another $2.7 billion for this program. So
it's doubled it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so they've added it. So for existing and for the new. So if we don't, so we're actually helping Josh Frydenberg and the government if we actually put people on this program. So yeah, so it's kind of, I've got my little secret set, my Santa hat here, and I feel like it's kind of Christmas in July, and we can actually help the government allocate out their $2.7 billion. And when the dollars arrive into you as business owners' bank accounts, and you get to choose and be responsible for what happens with it, then that's been great.
So the amazing thing is, if you are, or anywhere in Australia, but particularly if you're in New South Wales going, what is going to happen to us, then we can actually help you figure out if there's a course that's eligible, that's suitable for your business, that you can get your people on, that can get you the 50% wage subsidy for a whole year.
Yes, so you'll only get it. So unfortunately, it's not a cash injection tomorrow. I'd love to have one of those to be able to give you. It does come at the end of each of the quarters, but you'll know that throughout that 12 months, this is the dollars that you will have in your bank account. So we'll allow you to help cash project forward and things like that as well.
Awesome. So this document here is
It's just proof to show that it's real.
Right.
Okay, so
It's
because
government letterhead.
it's government letterhead. So that's as a business owner to business owners or business owner coordinators, the program is real. You can go and check it out. It is good news. It's from the government, and it's real.
Now, where people
And
go
take
and check-
advantage of it.
When people go and check it out, though, it says existing workers are only for trades.
Yeah, okay, because the little list at the back is actually called trade-based Australian apprenticeships, but it's actually traineeships, and there's, and then we've got some courses on there.
The definition of trade is pretty broad.
It's pretty broad,
Right,
which
so
is
we'll come back to
why
that.
we don't talk about trades. It doesn't talk about, everybody just talks about the program being BAC, not boosting apprenticeship centres, because it's misconstruation. So whoever named it,
Yeah.
but we'll forgive them.
They're still giving out money.
They're still giving out money, and it's really great. So it's actually a win for the government and the economy. It's a win for employers, and it is definitely a win for the employees who participate in the professional development programs.
So what's in it for the government? Like, they're giving out a lot of money. Why?
They are 2 point something, and that's why as business owners we need to be really making use of that responsibly, and and that there's benefits for our businesses and for the economy as a whole. But yeah, it upskills employees. We've seen during COVID that we really need our skills here in Australia, so it's an opportunity for us to be thinking outside the box, an opportunity for businesses to become innovative again.
How do we grow our own people?
How do we grow our own people, not being so reliant from overseas?
And so the problem with growing your own people is that costs money.
Yeah, well, now the government's actually subsidising for that to be able to do. Yeah, and then, so yeah, it really is boosting. The government are quite open with the figures that we've sort of just released. They're happy with the program. Yeah.
They want to spend this money, so you may as well have some of it.
Yeah, basically, and makes the business. So for an employer, what's the benefit for you? I know as an employer, where I've got people on the program myself, it's been a huge benefit. But it adds dollars to your budget. You'll know at the end of the thing. So if you basically calculate on, we'll cover the dollars soon, but say $22,000 per employee that you put on the program.
So that's after all your costs.
That's after all your costs, but plus there's a lot more extra incentives and benefits, not only the 28,000, but we'll cover them up soon too. So there's lots more other things. There's a huge value to your business if you upskill your people. Your people are going to stay longer. They want to think that they're being rewarded by the opportunity to train. Your processes, policies, procedures, and systems are all going to get updated. There's going to be doing some little workplace projects in there. They get more excited about what's happening. There's just a whole new vibe in your business when you've got people training, and because they think they're valued by you, the employer, and there's opportunities for growth for them and everything. So yeah, it really does make a difference. Win for the employees, definitely. Look, we see this every single day. We've been in a training company for 16 years now, and it is, why do I do it for 16 years and keep coming back every day? It's the difference we make in the people's lives. So I had a guy yesterday, Mark rang me, so excited. He said, hey, guess what? He said, I started with your training a couple of years ago, and I have now finished my MBA. So Mark was a guy that came on and did a couple of different qualifications with us. He did his advanced diploma leadership and management. He'd never been to university, and he was able, having done his qualifications with us, skip 3 years of undergraduate university degree, enter into his MBA, do it for 2 years, and he has just got the best amazing job, that his dream job that he's picked up with a very large company. So there's just one example. We have got so many examples. Every day and week we get in pages and pages of our students as they're graduating. They fill out surveys for us, and the difference that it's made to their lives personally, a difference that it's made to their lives at work, has just been amazing. And so therefore I come back each day. Our team, we've got such a team, a passionate team of trainers who just love their students, love what they do with them, and just journey through it. And our completion coaches, every student gets given a completion coach, and that's somebody who journeys through life with them. And in today's world of COVID and mental health and everything, having somebody that you can talk to that's not in your closest network is really important to people at the moment. So we're just getting feedback from that. Yeah.
So you're supporting the workers, which will help. So it's really, there's 2 big points of value, isn't it? One is you get a bucket of money, but the other one is you get better performance from your employees because they're supported and they're trained, etc. And their feedback is just pages and pages of just great stuff, and then they will keep coming back. So you'll see that they'll come back and do multiple qualifications with us and things like that as well. It's a long-term journey of career development that we work through people. We become part of their lives,
and there'll literally be people that'll tell us that they're still here today because of doing their course.
Wow.
There would have been other options
Wow.
that they wouldn't have liked to have done.
Wow. There are quite a few questions coming in the chat about existing permanent employees.
Yes.
From that frequent, the government letterhead page that you were waving around
Yes.
before, where it says that that they're eligible if they go from casual to part-time.
Yep.
Or part-time to full-time, and the wording on it is a bit confusing. Someone's pasted it in and asked for clarification. It says, and we will go through this in more detail, won't we? But it says there will be no changes for commencements of existing workers in trade-based Australian apprenticeships, is what the wording is on there. And the question is, does this mean existing permanent employees are not eligible? So no changes in commencements basically means the rules have stayed the same.
So yes. So if you, as long as you're doing a course that's on here,
you can still do it for existing permanent employees.
Yes, you can still do it for existing permanent employees.
And we will talk in a moment about what the courses are that we can offer that are on that list, right?
Yeah, the courses vary in the different states, but yes.
Okay, so who's eligible?
Okay, so any employer, any size, any industry, any location, excepting if you work for a federal or a state government department or organisation. They're not, and that's I think as a business owner, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so you won't get the wage subsidy.
You won't get the wage subsidy.
You can still put people on training.
Oh, absolutely. And we still train with lots of federal and state departments. So we've also got a simple funding quiz that we've developed, and you'll be able to just quickly click in. Who else is not available? You can't do it if you're the sole trader, or if you're the director of the company of a
or the CEO or something. Or...
Yeah. If you're up to the absolute head decision making, some of the states say that no. So you can't be the partner in the partnership. You can't be the director of a sole director in a directorship company.
So because there's a training requirement, there's an assumption that there's someone more senior than you who can help
support you and train you. Yes.
Right.
So in my case, I can't do it because I'm the director of our company.
But your people can.
But my people can, and I can support and help them.
Okay.
But I'm definitely seeing the benefits, from them. So, but yeah, we've got a very quick funding quiz that you can click the buttons through and says yes, you can, and you can put it in as though would my employees. So as long as
an email address at the end, and if people want a copy of the link for that funding quiz, they can grab it.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that. Yeah. It might come out tomorrow, but yes, that'll be fine. So Australian and New Zealand citizens and those with PR are eligible. The Kiwis have just got to have been here for more than 6 months.
Oh, we've all been here for that long. We're not allowed to go home at the moment.
Yeah, they can't go home, so they're usually, so yeah. So basically most people, unless you're here on a skills visa, are usually eligible for it. You're existing and you're new.
Now, if I'm missing any of the questions, guys, on the way through, I will come back at the end and make sure we've picked them all up. So don't stress if I missed you at the moment. Okay, now, Anne, I know you wanted to do this calculation. I think the thing that's funny is that when Anne started telling people about this and emailing them, they thought she was like some sort of prince trying to give away money in some sort of scam. So, but you really do want to tell them how much money there is.
I do. That's why the hat's on. This is from the government. Okay, so after you've paid your course fee, so worst case scenario, because you do get up to the $28,000, up to $7,000 per quarter, half rebated as to what you've paid in Fred or Mary. So we'll call them Fred and Mary. So if you put 5 participants on, the worst case scenario is you've got $111,000 rebated back in from the government.
And that's if you're getting no extra incentives and you have to pay full fees and everything. So that's the worst case.
That's your worst case scenario. And then there is lots of other incentives as well. So if you've got 10 people on, then there's 222,000. And as a business owner, I'm sure that you can do something with the 222,000.
So if you're a business of say 15 people, you could keep 5 people as supervisors, senior people, and put 10 people through some sort of training that's relevant, get $250,000 in wage subsidy, and you're probably going to get payroll tax incentives and all sorts of other state-based cash for putting people on training courses. And that's a lot. That's $250,000 for a 15-person business. That's a lot.
Yeah. So even if it isn't, and you can spread. They don't all have to start at once as well. So, the program runs, you have to have everybody signed up and registered by the end of March next year.
But there's a bit of a fish hook in that, isn't there? Because although they're saying it's uncapped and it runs until March, there is a fixed budget amount. So
yeah, the 2 point whatever
guarantee that it's
no. Yeah, so in our particular company and other companies as well, if the situation will be finding enough trainers. And so if my trainers are full, then I won't be able to take more people. So I wouldn't leave it until the end. But if you've got some people started now, we certainly would be giving preferences to organisations we're existing, that we're already working with.
And there's a few details in that, like, isn't it? Like you can get signed up for the start now, but you don't actually have to start the course in the first day. Like you can delay the start of the course for up to 3 months or something.
Yeah. There's a few little things, but our account managers will help you work through that. So we're designing it to suit you and your business and your employees.
So we've got a few statistics here that I thought you might like to share with people.
Yeah. So this is some that have been running through. So 20% of the claims so far have been for employees over 35. So
not just kids.
Not just kids. So yes, it does suit 18-year-olds, but it also suits 40-year-olds and 45-year-olds and people like us.
So I did actually, when I was looking yesterday, it was like 12% of them were over 50 or something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And people are always looking for an opportunity to upskill. So don't think that that's not going to be for your older people as well. Yes. And even if your people, because we did as a company work with a lot of people in construction and civil construction, and those that aren't even real techie on laptops and everything extra still do their courses and still benefit so much when working with us. Right. So don't wipe out any of your older.
So just because it's an online course doesn't mean you have to be a super online geek to do it.
No, we've been working with big buttons and very simple things for a long time that works with guys that are out in the field. Okay, so 60% of people haven't been in traditional trades. So whereas it might be called trade-based apprenticeships, take all that mindset out, it is open for others. Okay, now New South Wales, if you're from New South Wales, we're behind the rest of the country, so we need to get in there. And
fewer sign-ups from New South Wales.
Yeah, so let's change that. Yeah. Industries with the fast uptakes: construction, accommodation, manufacturing. Great to see manufacturing coming through, because as a nation we just really need to see our manufacturing companies just take control and be really moving. So really excited by that one. Okay, now there is a lot of jobs advertised out there on Seek at the moment. Now, if you aren't, apparently this is bigger numbers than what it was before the GFC was the last time they'd sort of seen these sorts of numbers.
Well, this time last year when I looked, there were about 30,000 jobs in the whole country. So now there's 184,000. So if you're hiring as well, then potentially if you can find somebody who doesn't have all the skills you need, you could actually put them on this program and fill in the skills gaps with training. Definitely.
So, but yeah, so that's exciting that the economy is looking to bounce and people are doing. So if you can get a wage subsidy for some of your people, it means you can even put on more people. Because I know in our organisation, we've literally put on extra people.
Because you can use the wage subsidy. Like you've got 2 people on a wage subsidy already.
Yep.
That gives you 1 extra wage back that you can then go and
It is. And the new person, and the new person's coming on the wage subsidy. So we're getting projects done that will be sustainable for longer. So we're just using this 12 months while we've got this extra wage subsidy to really look at our business. Where do we want to take it? So Shane had just popped in from when he popped in at the beginning, and that was from sitting down with a couple of our new people, and they were drawing stuff out on the whiteboard as to where they're going and what they're working on our systems and different things. And so that we'll see great benefit out of it past the 12 months.
So can you explain to us the existing permanent employees on that list, the courses that we have that are not tradie courses, and who they are for and what they are?
Okay, so again, it will depend on the state. So in New South Wales only, we've got a program called our Post-2020 Business Skills Program, good for all businesses and all levels of employees. Covers things, so they'll end up with a Cert 4 in Business Sustainability, but it looks at sustainability across social impacts, your business environment, and as well as what's, social, financial,
like business
economic,
continuity,
business continuity as well.
Water testing or something.
No, but there's some really cool projects that they do in the organization, in the business, and the employees are having a lot of fun with those, and the trainers are having a lot of fun. Who've been putting it together. We look at some mental health. We look at communication. We look at digital skills in it. There's a lot of communication in there, so it's a really good course that if you need to put somebody on.
So it's a good broad base.
It's a very good broad base for upskilling for what's out there latest needed for now.
So if someone's been with you for 10 years or whatever, they could do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if they really want to do another course that's different to that as well, then put them on this course and then use the dollars to
pay for the other one.
Pay for the other one. Yeah, there's so much that you can do with it. Okay, workplace health and safety, good for every state. Okay, and workplace health and safety, not just safety. So yes, you'll have to have some people in it, but because as business owners, COVID's really changed what we're responsible for workplace health and safety. Every time that we've sent somebody home, that's another workplace that we're actually responsible for.
Yeah.
For ergonomics and what's happening in their world and everything.
COVID safe plans
and COVID safe plans. And I actually even saw an ad coming in just before I walked in here, and it was for a COVID safety officer, a COVID first aid officer and a COVID safety officer. It was a whole,
for a whole job
for a whole job for the COVID first aid officer.
Wow.
So it's kind of, so every business can benefit by literally sitting down and re-looking at all of our workplace health and safety policies,
so
procedures, system.
People onto this kind of.
Yeah, absolutely, because then they'll share the workload, and that's what their assessments are.
Right. So the project management one, because project management is not on that Appendix I trades list. So
no.
How does that one work?
Okay, so basically we bring it in under the workplace health and safety, and we've got some extra units that you do for the leadership and management or for workplace health and safety in there. But it's looking at projects being delivered in a very safe way.
Right, so it's a mixture of project management and health and safety. And they're dual qualification.
Dual qualification. There's a few extra units they've got to do at the end. It just allows us to expand the program, but the basis for it will be the workplace health and safety.
And then there's this niche course, I guess.
Yeah, for the civil construction, anyone out there with their leading hands, supervisors, overseers, project managers, foremen, superintendents, so good for all councils and civil construction companies across the alternative energy sectors as well. And yeah, different things, but those people can feel free to talk to us and chat. And it's really exciting for those guys because they've never had a career path in the past, and now they do. So that's really exciting.
So if you are an employer and you've got existing permanent staff, probably the best step forward for this is to actually just talk to us, and we'll help you figure out, because there's details like depending on what state and what job the person's doing and all that, but we can help you figure out who's eligible. I mean, it's pretty unlikely that this is a double negative. It's pretty likely that you'll have someone who's eligible for something.
Yes. Yeah, and even if you haven't got somebody yet, so the supervision we do have to work through, so you need a plan as to how you're going to provide supervision and training before you have your meeting with the apprenticeship centre. So we do tell you that, but have a talk with us along that way.
We can show you how to do that.
We can show you how to do that, and so that you can get through that sort of step. So as the coordinator, I will just sort of pick it up now very quickly. Okay. As the employer, you'll probably either organise this yourself or you'll nominate a coordinator. Again, coordinators, thanks, you'll do a great job. We will give you a pack, and in it is a very quick, simple checklist. And if you follow the checklist, you'll get through it, because it will say to you what sorts of things do you need to know before you have your meeting with the apprenticeship centre. Because
we'll explain that in a moment, but you have to meet with an apprenticeship centre to sign your people.
Yeah, to register your people.
And some of them, unfortunately, do not yet understand the existing employee stuff, and are saying to people, no, you can't do it. And then we're sending them to apprenticeship centres that do. We've got a list that we can give you of the ones who understand it, and they're getting them approved. But if you've got an existing apprenticeship centre, we can tell you the language to use, the codes to give them, and all that sort of stuff for their paperwork. Yeah,
so we just want you, it's one of these things that you need to be educated, forearmed, and you're in control. Don't let them say to you, yay or no. They just work for the apprenticeship mob. They don't make the decision. So if you, the business owner, know what's up your sleeve and that you're going to be doing it correctly, and you've got a plan for how you're going to supervise and run the training, and you've got a company that you're going to work with and everything, and then it does, because you know what's in your arsenal to actually have it, make it and get work.
Okay, so now the other opportunity, of course, is for new workers, which is quite a broad definition, and there's a lot more courses for them. Yeah. So actually this was just, sorry, I keep jumping ahead. So for the existing worker, do you want to just show some proof that we've actually been getting them approved for existing workers?
So these are forms that we get in. So what happens basically, you identify your people, you sort out what program they're going to go on, and you have your meeting with the apprenticeship centre mob, and they're called ASNs now, AASNs. They used to be called an APN, Australian Apprenticeship Network. They keep changing their minds, but anyway. Then what happens is, after that meeting, you get to sign up the form for your wage subsidy. It's usually done there and then at the meeting. You apply for the wage subsidy for Fred and Mary, who had just been approved. Okay, then they send us that's the training company, this letter saying, hi, will you take on Fred and will you take on Mary?
So this is the notification that the person has been approved for a wage subsidy to do a course with us.
Yeah, so this is the approval for us that they will be eligible for the traineeship. The wage subsidy, I don't know about the wage subsidy, it goes straight to the employer.
But we don't get this until the wage subsidy.
Oh, no, and the person is approved for their traineeship.
And so what courses are those ones for?
Okay, so
Are
this
they
one
existing
here,
or new workers?
yeah, both of these are existing workers, and this one's for an existing worker, full-time, 38 hours a week, and they were doing a, this one should be a diploma, a certificate for in civil construction supervision.
Right.
And this one here is for a existing worker, trainee, full-time, doing the Cert 4 in environmental management, doing that sustainability
The
course.
business one.
Yeah, that business one. So there's a couple that we've had in recently.
Okay, here's one. You have to say names or something.
Yeah, I've taken out all of the Fred and Mary's names and the business names.
Okay, so new employees, tell us about that.
Sorry, one of these is a council and one was a private employer as well, just to show that there is both of those coming through. Okay, new employees. With our company, we've got 15 different courses that new employees can do. Now, if you happen to be in, the employer pays for the training, so the employees do not have to pay. Okay, so the employer, depending as the state, so in New South Wales, if you happen to be an employer in New South Wales, all of these courses are free
For new workers.
for new workers. So we say thank you very much to the New South Wales government.
So if you're an employer, you get to keep the whole 28,000
Yes.
in New South Wales.
Yes, plus the other incentives that we haven't even talked about. Yes.
Right.
So if you are in another state, your employees in another state, you pay us, and we've got a payment plan and different things for that. And you've probably got an extra couple of things. The courses will change slightly within a couple of the states, but generally speaking, I've got about 15, 17 courses that are good for new workers. Now, with your new employees, these are people who have been with you for under 3 months, so that you've put on, or you're going to put on, or you're upgrading from a casual to a part-time. Generally speaking,
Or casual to full-time.
or casual to full-time or part-time to full-time. So if there's a change in their employment scenario and in the 3 months. So keep in mind, have a look at your casuals. I know during IR, during COVID last year, I spent a lot of time on IR webinars. And basically we were told that not many people are actually casual. For the real definition of casuals, they're more permanent part-timers anyway. So have a look at those casual people.
If you may be better off to make them part-time.
You might be better off to make them part-time and get the wage subsidy and know that you'll get either, I think one of the states is 13 hours for the week, but most of them say 15 hours.
Is the minimum.
Is the minimum, go for 15 hours.
And that's not a 3-month limit on that, is it? That could have been a casual with you for a year.
I think they've been casual with you for years.
I think some states might have a limit of 12 or 24 months but most of them it's like, as long as you're upgrading their employment status, they count as a new worker no matter how long they've been there.
Right, yeah. So those sorts of little things, I don't give the approval, I'm the training company. And you do have to check with the apprenticeship mob because they will sign it off on behalf of the training services for that company, for that state.
Okay, but basically there's lots of courses.
Oh, there is, and project management, work health and safety, business, HR, There's something there usually for everybody that will suit them.
And what if they've already got a degree? Like what if they're an engineer or an accountant or whatever? Can they do one of these?
Absolutely. We have so many people that have already got degrees come through and others that don't. So if you're a professional and have already got undergraduate degrees or postgraduate, then certainly you can still do one of these.
Isn't it going to be annoying to be sent back to school and treated like a child?
Not when you're with us, because we don't do anything. There's no exams, there's no essays, and there's no silly little activities in the book that you've got to fill out. You'll be working on real workplace projects and fixing up your workplace documents of your policies, procedures and systems and working on things for the actual real business.
So you're used to working with adults?
Oh yes, for the whole 16 years we've had adults. Now they're not always, we're not always the best looking people, but we're real, and that's why we're a real company and we've got real people. So all of these
students are not good looking. That's not very nice.
Well, they are. They're just probably, we're not the models. But no, because they bring their kids to training sessions. Yeah, we talk about the cats and the dogs and the grandkids and and everything. Yeah, we're real people and they're all real people developing their careers.
Okay, so give us the tough stuff. How much does it cost?
Okay, so depending which state you are. So my fees have certainly not changed. They'll range between $5,000 and $7,000. So you can, and unless they're new employees for New South Wales, and you'll get it for free. So basically, if you count on getting, say, if there's $7,000, which is my diploma courses, that would be for new workers in a couple of the states, then you would keep 21 grand.
Right.
For existing workers, my prices are $5,750. So you're going to keep $22,000. If you've got a civil, it's like $6,300. So you're going to keep again 21 grand.
So basically, worst case, the employer is going to keep at least 20,000 per person.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it'll be 30-something thousand, depending on what other incentives there are.
Yeah, because very quickly mention on the extra incentives, check with your accountant. I've actually just finished a webinar with accountants, but check with your accountant because you may be eligible for payroll tax rebates. I know the work cover, there's a reduction in work cover. In some of the states, there's extra completions or finance.
$4,000 if you sign someone up.
Yeah, so there's some extra incentive-y kind of thingies. Just check whether or not you're going to be eligible. But even if you're not eligible for any of those stuff, it's still a really good deal.
So it's like free money and you get a course.
Okay. Yeah, which is why the government's got its little Santa hat now.
So how do you actually logistically go about
this? All right. The process is very simple. So at your meeting with the apprenticeship centre mob, when you're registering your people, make sure you follow the steps on our checklist beforehand from the coordinator's kit.
So we'll give them a more detailed checklist of
yes.
what codes, what language, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that'll come in the coordinator's kit. Okay, but basically at the meeting, you will sign up, register your people for one of these courses. That'll get one of these things sent through to us and they'll be able to then start their course. You register for each of Fred and Mary into the program. At the end of each of the quarters, so the end of March and September and July, all those June, those quarterly thingies, then you actually get to, they send you a letter.
So this is your letter as the employer.
This is my letter as employer, how to claim your quarterly wage subsidy. And you get a reminder, and they've also, my apprenticeship mob send us a text message to say, hi, remember you've got to apply for what Mary's eligible for wage subsidy, remember to put her forms in. I don't do it, but Shane, who you met earlier, puts it in that he has to put in their pay slips and he has to upload their training plan. And then the government looks at it and basically says, in Mary's case, she's earned $14,000 or plus, more than $14,000 for that quarter, and the government then puts $7,000, so it's a maximum of $7,000 per quarter.
What if Mary earns less than 14?
Then they will add up what she's been paid in that quarter
and give you half.
And give you half of it.
And it's half the gross pay, isn't it? It's half the quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they pay you.
And they pay and comes in the bank account. And yeah, our people have been signed on since the end of last year, and Shane tells me the money arrives in the bank account. So
let's just talk very briefly about the actual training itself. Like, how do we do this? Because lots of people that I talk to go, this sounds great, but I haven't got time to send people off to college. It's like, but you can get half their wages paid for.
Okay, so there is no college attendance to have to come to. So basically, we're running a very similar program to what we've been running all of the time anyway. Meet Wendy. Wendy's been training with us now. So she was a 2009 student. So that's sort of going back about 10, 11, 12 years it goes now. And she did some qualifications then. She's been doing some along the way, and she's just completed another 2 qualifications with us. So you'll see she's just received her qualifications in the mail the other day. So we've been around a long time. We're still here. We're going to be here for a lot longer things. And the training that Wendy did way back then is still very similar to what we're doing now. So it's a one-on-one training program. You talk to your trainer over the phone, and you also have a completion coach, which you talk to over the phone as well. So everything is available to you online in the resource centre. Everything is very simple, very big fat buttons, because we work with lots of those civil people that are outdoor kind of people and council workers. And it'll be down in a workshop, and you sort of have, there's no exams, no essays. We have regular tutes on Zoom and things so they can ask any questions about their assessments.
What if you're a company and you've got like 20 or more people?
Okay, if you've got lots of people, then we can give you your own group sessions. So where we used to run, they can still be very interactive, where we used to run them via going physically into those places because of COVID and everything now and modern technology, the trainers are zooming in.
So the students can still be together if that's
Yes.
appropriate, or they can be individually, like right now in New South Wales, people working from home, can we still do group training?
Absolutely, yes. And so our trainers still zoom you in, grab you in from where you are. We still have breakout rooms. We still can do activities. They can still be doing and working on their assessments there and then.
For a lot of people, that's kind of hard to imagine how you could do interactive training working from home. So
yeah, so what we've done is we've done some videos and things that we can show you and send you the link to it. Just ask us at the end for the link and we can send you that. So Shane's running it, who you've met. And so he basically still runs activities and different things with that and explains how it thinks. So the topic that we did was making change stick in your company. So the actual example is really educational and a bit of fun to watch, but you'll actually learn some of the concepts.
So it'll be useful to watch as
Absolutely.
well as understanding how it works.
Understanding how.
So if people want that link, they can just email.
Yeah, just email and we'll send it through.
Okay, now here's a really important thing that I don't think we've covered.
Okay, there is no risk to you as the employer. Okay, I'm certainly not going to, as a company here, you don't pay anything until your people have been approved and then we've got one of these magical sheets through. So yes, so you nominate your coordinator who works with the account manager here. So we
So we don't charge anything for all that part of it?
No. So we allocate you your account manager who will work through all of the process with you, get you through the meetings with the apprenticeship mob. When we get this one through, you will have probably approved your finances at the beginning. So most companies, what they do is they go along the way. The finance man says yes, the employer says yes, I'm happy for this for these people. The finance manager says yes, gives us their company paying approval,
Like a
authoring
purchase order
at the fairly well earlier, but we certainly don't send any invoices or anything until these forms are in.
Okay, awesome. So, and if the person, we send the invoice and then a week later the person leaves or something, what happens?
Okay, yeah, we've got some things as to when, there's part payments and different things and when they leave, yeah.
Yeah, so we stop charging you basically if they leave.
Yeah, in the first sort of beginning of that program.
All right, so anyone wants to see the detail of that?
Yeah, it's all listed out on the sheets anyway, the quote form.
Okay. So where to from? We've got a whole bunch of questions, but just before we go into them, where to from here for people? What do they need to do?
Okay, so depending if you've already been talking to one of your account managers, so if you've been talking to Steve or Janelle or Tegan or Georgie, then we will keep you working with them along the process because a lot of the people I know on the webinar today are already connected with one of our people. Otherwise, give us an email in at Wage Subsidy and we will allocate you a lovely account manager that will work through this process with you. We'll then send you your coordinators kit, which will give you the checklist. Now, please work your way through the checklist because if you miss...
Nobody works their way through the checklist. You know what people are like.
I know, but we've kind of made it as simple as we can and your checklist really will get you through this a lot simpler.
And we have had a few people, haven't they, who've stepped over the steps, gone straight to the apprenticeship centre. The apprenticeship centre's gone, no, you can't do that. And then we've had to rewind to go back through the steps
again, yeah.
Yes.
So grab the kit. That's why we've sort of put it together. We do thank the coordinators so much for working through it. And yeah, you'll get through and then we'll get this. And your people will be on training. They'll end up like Wendy or end up like Mark, who rang yesterday about his MBA. Yeah, and the programs that he's been able to do, and yeah, and it'll work there.
So any of the things that we've talked about, if you would like copies of them, just email us on that Wage Subsidy email. Whether you want to see a sample of the video of how we train, whether you want copies of any of the government documents or the coordinators kit or whatever, just email us, tell us where you're up to, what you're trying to do, and we'll figure out.
And a copy of this today, because often people will find that they've got to then show other people, the finance manager or other owners in the business or stakeholders.
Good point. So if they want a recording of this webinar, we can send them out one.
Yes, that's short. That's awesome. Fine.
Okay, so let me ask some of the questions we have here. Okay. Some of them we might have covered, so they were asked fairly early on, but we'll quickly recap them. But if you're one of the people that's posted a question and our short answers don't cover it, then pop something else in and we'll make sure we do. Will employers be eligible to upskill existing employees also or only for new employees? Okay, so that's your existing employees, but remember there is a shorter list, so you kind of make it work for you. Even if you have to employ somebody, with a workplace health and safety course, we've got some other suggestions as to how you can get that done so that you can still really benefit. Okay, we need to give our people training in artificial intelligence. There do not appear to be any courses for that. Do you provide that? Sadly, no.
No, sadly, no.
We should have some digital skills built into the post 2020, but not at that high level AI.
No.
And in fact, I don't think there are any government courses and that.
But what you can do is put some people on some general courses with us, and then use the extra dollars from your wage subsidy
to go and pay for a private course.
To pay for a private course, because yeah, you're definitely in the high level skills area and the niche market. I don't know who is offering it. Courses that are generally, if you know they're going to be out there and approved, it's under myskills.gov.au.
But it may not even be, there may not even be a government accredited course. So what you do is put them on like a business course that is accredited, get the wage subsidy, and then use some of that money to go and do something with a non-accredited provider or something.
And provide the, so look at it as being a great boost for your business. Utilize the dollars and invest that money to grow your business.
Good idea.
And yeah, which is exactly what I'm doing as an employer.
Okay, I think we've covered this one. Is an existing full-time worker eligible?
Yes. So yes, they're eligible. You've just got to then work out, being able to fit which course and getting them to fit it in with the supervisor and things in your company.
This was an early question as well, which I think we've covered. Is this limited to specific courses?
So existing, yes, and new is yes, but yeah,
the list is longer for
the list is longer for new.
Okay. So Jerry, just can you just confirm for me that we clarified your question about the text from the FAQs page, that existing permanent employees, the rules haven't changed, so they are still eligible for the limited number of courses. Okay, here's a good question. Can a shareholder be signed up if they aren't a director? I think I know the answer.
Okay, yeah.
It depends on the state. I know for New South Wales, for example, if they're a majority shareholder, they're not eligible. But I believe in most cases, if they're a minority shareholder and they're not in a senior executive role, that sort of thing, then so it's case by case. But it really depends on, are you the main business operator decision maker, in which case you're not eligible. If you are not at that level, then it's worth looking at.
And you can talk to any general apprenticeship centre mob who will be able to, and they'll know the answer for where you actually are.
Okay, if the coordinator is not a director or owner of the company, can they do a course themselves?
Yes, absolutely. So so we have lots of our coordinators doing it, but I also have lots of our coordinators and our HR people or coordinators are actually going to be the supervisors as well.
Right.
Because you do need to nominate a supervisor.
So sometimes they might choose not to do the course and to be the supervisor instead.
But sometimes they're actually doing the course over here and then they're supervising these people over here as well. And they're doing different courses.
So you could do a traineeship yourself in a different subject.
Yeah.
And then be the supervisor for someone else in another subject. Yeah. Or do a higher level. Okay. So that's the sort of detail that we can talk you through with on a case by case basis.
So yeah, we've got all those sorts of scenarios working.
So this person's a minority shareholder and not a major business decision maker. Should I speak to my accountant? Your accountant, unless they've been on our webinar this morning, they probably won't know. It's probably a question for the apprenticeship centre. But if you want to shoot us an email, we can tell us what state you're in. We can give you an apprenticeship centre contact who will know the answers to this stuff.
And I would probably ask for, at the apprenticeship centre, I would ask for a manager. Yeah. If you're just ringing your general busy at work or your MEGT or your Verto or your whoever else is there, there's quite a few of them for each of the states. Talk to somebody in a senior position that may have come across this before. Because
there's so many people going through this wage subsidy sign up, there are so many new staff in those cases and they don't all know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I would be, I would probably let us give you the names of some of the experienced people and that will give you a good start. Okay, let's do more questions in the Q&A. What if they're existing full-time staff upskilling? I think we've covered that. Yes, for the shortlisted course. To clarify, if they're already full-time?
Yes.
Yes, for the shortlisted course. Okay, can you apply this for current full-time employees? They're not casual, they're not part-time, they're already long-term full-time.
Yes.
For the short ones.
For the short ones.
I think we already answered that actually. I just realised it was about half an hour ago to ask that. Okay, what about people with a business degree? Can they complete a traineeship with the business services?
Yes, you can't have done the exact qualification. So if you've got a certificate, a diploma of business, you won't be able to do another diploma of business. You could do a diploma of leadership management. So if you've got a business degree, it doesn't matter at all.
You could still do a cert for a business.
So you could have a Bachelor of Workplace Health and Safety, and still you do and haven't got your certificate 4 in WHS, you could do your Cert 4 in WHS.
Right.
You'll find it very easy,
Yeah.
and it'll be great for, but you're allowed to. And
There
yeah,
are some things that are different as well. As we saw, we were talking to someone yesterday who'd done a degree in project management, and there was stuff in the Cert 4 that he hadn't covered in the degree. And
absolutely, yeah.
So it's different. It's a different focus.
And we have in our everyday business, nothing to do with this, a lot of people with university degrees that are coming back and doing our very practical courses and getting pay rises and advances and everything.
Yeah. So these vocational courses have always been about on-the-job stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and the real stuff.
Yeah. Do you provide training courses for hospitality or sport and recreation?
Okay, so no, we don't have any specific.
Not the entry level kind of.
No, the entry level ones. But again, you can put some of your people on doing the courses that we offer, and then if there's any on another list that's for new workers, you won't find it on the existing workers list.
Yeah, so you won't be able to get wage subsidy for existing workers for hospitality or sport recreation, but you might be able to put your supervisors and team leaders on a Cert 4 in business for if they're new, or on the post-business, post-2020. So talk to us and we'll help you figure out how you can maximise it.
Yeah, it's looking at, as the employer or the coordinator, maximising this for the people in your organisation and helping the government.
You're still wearing your Santa hat.
I am still got my Santa hat on because it really is good news. And as a business owner or coordinator, you actually get to use this stuff to think about our business, where do we want to take it to, what's going to be really good for the employees, and actually utilise this really well.
And it's been funny, isn't it? Because you've been emailing people saying, hey, there's all this money. And so many people's responses are, no, that can't be right. It's like, but it is.
It is real. Yes, you're getting it. If you're not doing it, then you're missing out. So it's a little bit of coordinating, but the benefit, look, once we get through this initial stuff and we've got somebody holding your hand and you walk through the coordinator's kit,
then it gets easy after that.
Then it gets easy because the people are just on their training, you're settling them in, they're working with their completion coach and their trainer.
You upload their pay slips once a quarter.
Once a quarter, you upload your pay slips, and if you can't, I'm sure the accounts that were on the last webinar with us would all say, hi, I'll upload your pay slips for you if you want to pay me. Then it's
okay. So we've got four more questions, and we're nearly out of time. So we have skilled people who would like to complete additional university qualifications.
Okay, so again, it won't fit into this program. So again, you'll need to put them on this sort of a program to get your wage subsidy.
And then use the money.
And then use the money for helping them do on their university
courses.
However,
some of our courses give them credit to university.
Yes, so things like, your advanced diploma in leadership and management can get them, depending what they want to do, miss whole 3 years of undergraduate.
Right, or get them second year or whatever.
Yeah, they'll get them into second year, or they'll dismiss it and go third and final year Bachelor of Applied Management, or direct entry into MBA through your graduate certificates, graduate diplomas, MBA.
So again, there's different ways you can do it.
Yeah, so career pathing, really great.
How about social media advertising? Same as the others, isn't it? We don't have a specific course on that.
No.
And I think personally, a lot of the best courses on that are not necessarily government accredited anyway, because it changes.
It changes. Yeah, we know here in social media, we're changing stuff every day because the rules of all the platforms change all the time.
So I'd be putting them on like a Cert 4 in business, and then using the surplus money to go and pay for some short courses from people that are really up to date with that stuff. How long does the approval process take?
Okay, so the quicker the better for you. I know we're working with Verto in New South Wales, and they have put on extra staff. So they're sort of running under 2 weeks to get your meetings had when you've actually got your people together. So you've got to organise who your people are. They've got to have things like your USI and their birth dates and their passports and their IDs and stuff, photo IDs with them for those meetings. So if you follow the checklist in the coordinator's kit, it'll speed it up because you're going to know that at that meeting they need to have a copy of the photo ID.
And if you've got someone who you hired 2.5 months ago and they're nearly at their 3 months, then give us a call or email us straight away. We'll put you in touch with the Apprenticeship Centre, because what they've been telling us is that as long as the initial application is lodged, then you don't have to miss out, because it might take them a while to get out for the meeting. Anyway, that's an Apprenticeship Centre decision, but we can put you in touch with people who can help.
Yeah, can help. So so we give you your person that you're going to work with, your account manager, take your coordinator's kit, use this, follow the little bouncing ball down all of the checklists, and then and you should be able to get through as quick as the possibility, and then you nominate when you're going to start your training with us. and we get you up and running.
Okay, 4 more questions. for
Yes.
those of you people who've got time to hear them. There's some good ones actually. For existing full-time employees, you mentioned that they are able to complete their workplace health and safety qualification with additional units for leadership and management.
Yes.
Are they able to obtain a leadership and management qualification as well with these additional units, still under the wage subsidy to full completion?
Okay, so what happens is your wage subsidy will be linked with the workplace health and safety course. Then you will have 4 extra units to also gain your leadership and management. Those 4 extra units will come at an additional cost, depending again what state, whether we've got some fund, because we usually have some bit of funding in New South Wales, and when you want them to finish that. So yes, they will end up with 2 qualifications, but there will be a bit of an additional fee for those extra 4 units.
But they do get the second piece of paper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you get both of the qualifications, and depending which order that you want them done in, if you want to do them earlier, you can do them along the way, but you will want the workplace health and safety to go over the 12 months. So that because that's the one that's linked to the traineeship.
And when they finish,
the wage
subsidy finishes.
Finishes, yes. So the wage subsidy finishes. So don't tell, yeah. So
don't let them go too fast.
No, don't let them go too fast, or otherwise you're going to finish your whole qual and everything early at 6 months, and you'll only get the wage subsidy for 6 months. So we say on all of our paperwork, and each of the employees know that they will get issued their qualification at the end of 12 months.
Right. So then they can get the full.
So that you can get the full 12 months. So as long as you tell your people that it's going to be slowly through, so that it lasts the 12 months. So then as the employer, you can actually get that full 12 months.
Okay. So 3 questions.
Yes.
With the certificate 4 courses you mentioned, are these all courses you run? They're not courses that they have to go to TAFE for?
No. So these are the ones that we run.
So yes, we run them. No, they don't have to go to TAFE.
Yes, we run them. No, you don't have to go to TAFE, and we get these little thingies. And we've been running these courses for a long time.
Okay, I've got 2 questions which are similar, and then 1 more. What happens if a staff member doesn't complete the course? And then I've also got, what if the staff is fired or leaves and we hire someone else?
Okay, so it is linked to the actual employee. So if the employee leaves
For any reason,
then you will only receive the wage subsidy for that person while you've been there, because you'll only have those number of pay slips to put up for that particular person.
So you get it until the day they go, but then it stops, obviously.
And it stops.
Can you hire someone else to?
Okay, so if you then hire a new person, you will be on a whole new process with that particular person.
So as long as it happens before the end of March, you should be okay.
Yes. So you can hire until the end of March.
And they're a new person, so you've probably got more course options then.
Yes.
What if they don't complete the course? Do you have to pay it back?
Okay, so there is no paying back. Now, as the training company, I really want everybody to complete the course, because it really is honestly good for the business and good for the employee.
And we get measured on completion.
So I'm not doing it here as I just have the money sort of thing. The people do really need to be to be wanting to undertake professional development, and but it's so much of a benefit for the business as well as the employee.
Okay. Another question: if an employee works part-time for 2 companies, would each company be able to get a wage subsidy, given that the employee will undertake 2 separate training courses? In most states, yes. In
most states, probably yes. But again, I'm not the financial planner, and I'm not the apprenticeship centre mob to give a definite on that one. But most states, from what I have read, would be a yes, because those dollars are only going to be coming in as part-time there as well.
And so most of the state government websites say something on it like the person can do 2 traineeships for 2 employers or for 1 employer, as long as it's a manageable workload for them, is basically one of the things. But that's something to talk to the apprenticeship centre about and confirm.
And that would have to be part-timers, not casuals. Remember, casuals are not eligible.
So people are going, right, well, I'm paying my person, instead of 56,000, which is where the subsidy is capped, I'm paying them 112,000. So I'm going to hire half of them in one company and half of them in another. It's like, that is between you and the apprenticeship centre. Let's not even go there.
I know nothing. There's some things I know, and there's other things I know nothing.
Okay, I think this is the last question. If anyone else has got one, feel free to fire it in. Some of the qualifications have a nominal period of longer than 12 months. How does this affect the wage subsidy? That's a very good question.
Okay, all right. So the nominal length of time will be either 12 months or 24 months usually. So that is the furthest out extension of the course. We will be, if the person has completed their course and you're happy with them, with their skills at the workplace, and we're happy with what they've done in their course, we will be able to bring that forward and issue your qualification out just over those 12 months.
Awesome.
Past the 12 months.
So they'll still get 12 months wage subsidy. The wage subsidy won't go for 2 years or whatever.
No, it doesn't. It's just 12 months of wage subsidy, subject to the government deciding if they want to give us another Christmas present and extend it or something extra.
But right now,
with the rules they are at the moment, then there's those
$2.7 billion.
$2.7 billion allocated for this budget for this particular program.
Yeah.
And so it's literally a matter of, as business owners and coordinators, looking at what can our business do with this? How can we benefit our employees? How can we benefit the business? And how can we help the government utilise their $2.7 billion dollars? Billion. I don't rate.
And actually, that last question that we've got is, how long is the subsidy going for?
Okay, so the subsidy, there's $2.7 billion. Currently, from what they're released and everything in all of the little official sheeties from the government, 30th of March next year is the last lot of registrations that you have to have your people signed up with the apprenticeship centre, and your training can commence from there. But with our particular company, don't leave it that long, because literally, when my trainers will be full, and different things.
So, and actually there's one very good question at the end, and everybody's just about all stayed on, even though we've gone over time. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate your
this
time.
Is actually a really good question. So for existing workers, the Appendix I, will other providers have a different list of courses available, or is it the same for every provider in New South Wales?
Okay, so it's the same for every provider. It'll be just whether who's got what courses, if they even know about what's on the process, because you won't find this process out in the marketplace.
Right. For new workers, like if you wanted to hire a new kid and put them on Cert 2 in hospitality or whatever, then there'll be providers doing that.
There will be providers Cert 3 to 4, yes.
Yeah. But that Appendix I list that Anne's waving around is the same list for everybody.
So whoever offers shearing and wool clip preparation.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I don't do it, and I don't know who does. And whether or not they even know that they're on this particular list. I'm not
some
right
greyhound racing trainers or something, I think.
Yeah, there's captive animals. I don't quite know how captive animals works, but anyway, or a performance horse. So there's the horse people and jewellery manufacturing.
Right. So basically for sensible courses, I shouldn't say that, for business related courses.
Yeah.
So actually we should wrap up then, because we have gone over
All right.
time.
So we've had a lot of fun. It really is a gift from the government. And as business owners and coordinators, just have a good think about what you can do for benefiting your employees in the training program, for offering them professional development. And
if they're all completely confused now, what should they do?
Okay, so if you're totally confused, that would be quite normal. Okay. Send us an email to Wage Subsidy, or if you're already talking to the Georgie or Steve or Janelle, here is our account managers. Just send them a quick email back. But if you send one through to Wage Subsidy, we'll make sure you get an account manager and make sure that you've got your own coordinator kit, and we can give you the webinar relink from now, and we can also send you examples of how training can work.
But the account manager can step them through it.
The account manager will step you through it and follow the bouncing ball on the checklist from the coordinators kit.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Anne.
That's okay. So thank you to all of the owners, and again, thank you to the coordinators that are going to put this together for your companies.
And big hugs to the people in New South Wales.
Yeah, big hugs to everybody else in New South Wales. We honestly do feel for you. Sorry, I can't give you the money up front. It is a wage rebate. But hopefully it'll help, and we'll give you some good news, things that you can look forward to over this next 12 months.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.